It's a breakthrough. After weeks of wrangling, Ukraine and United States have finally agreed on the terms of a major minerals deal. It happened just when it seemed it won't, after this bitter exchange of words.
A dictator without elections. Zelenskyy better move fast or he's not going to have a country left. Got to move fast.
На жаль, президент Трамп з великою повагою до нього.
Unfortunately, he lives in this disinformation space.
Hello and welcome to Connecting the Dots. I'm Unman Bhattacharya. Let's connect the dots of what a US-Ukraine minerals deal could achieve. From the very start of negotiations, they made their priorities clear. US wanted access to Ukraine's deposits of rare earth minerals, and Ukraine was keen on security guarantees in return.
We are not considering signing any agreements without security guarantees.
So have both sides got what they wanted? Let's find out. Zelenskyy says no American security guarantees have been agreed so far.
I really wanted at least a sentence on Ukraine's security guarantees to appear.
And this is what the draft of the deal says. There is only a vague reference to Ukrainian security. It only mentions that the United States supports Ukraine's effort to obtain security guarantees needed to establish peace. So the US has made no specific commitment to safeguarding Ukraine's security. Now hear this.
The main thing for me is we are not debtors. There is no $500 billion debt in the agreement, no $350 billion, no $100 billion, because that would be unfair.
Zelenskyy has managed to push back against Trump's demand for a payback from Kyiv of the billions of dollars in aid that it gave during the war. Remember, Trump had wanted payback of $500 billion from Ukraine, even though an independent assessment puts the value of past US military and financial assistance to Ukraine at a far lower figure of $120 billion. Zelenskyy has succeeded there, as the deal makes no mention of Trump's $500 billion bill. Negotiations were tough, to say the least. Drafts were worked and reworked. On one occasion, the Ukrainians were given an hour to sign. On another, just 6 minutes. Ukrainian officials say their encounters with Team Trump were so confusing that they watched documentaries for clues about Trump's negotiation style. So what was agreed in the deal? The text commits the two sides to the idea of creating a joint fund for investments into Ukraine. Ukrainians are expected to contribute 50% of revenues from future government-owned resource projects like those involving minerals, hydrocarbons, oil, gas and infrastructure such as LNG terminals and ports into the fund. But this would exclude current operations like the big oil and gas projects that are already contributing significant sums to the Ukrainian budget. An American demand for 100% ownership of the investment fund has also been dropped. Ownership will be proportional to the sums invested by both sides. A clause in an earlier draft that required Ukrainians to pay twice the amount of any future aid into the fund has also gone. What's not clear, though, is to what extent the American side will control the new fund and what will be its governance arrangements. But it can be said that after 2 weeks of increasing pressure from Trump's envoys, Ukraine survived a bare-knuckles fight. So how did the idea originate? In September, Zelenskyy had offered to grant mineral rights to Trump when they met in New York. Ukraine's mineral riches have long been eyed by its allies. Kyiv made them part of its appeal for continued support. So what minerals does Ukraine have? Kyiv estimates that about 5% of the world's critical raw materials are in Ukraine. This includes some 19 million tons of proven reserves of graphite. Graphite is used to make batteries for electric vehicles. Ukraine also has significant deposits of titanium, lithium, and rare earth metals. Rare earth metals are a group of 17 elements that are used to produce weapons, wind turbines, electronics, and other products that are vital in the modern world. Ukraine also has Europe's largest uranium ore deposits. Collectively, Ukraine's rare earth and critical mineral deposits are estimated to be worth trillions of dollars. But some of the country's mineral deposits have been seized by Russia. According to Ukraine's economy minister, resources worth $350 billion are in occupied territories today. What's more, milking the natural resources of Ukraine would come with its own share of challenges. For instance, a quarter of Ukraine's landmass is estimated to be contaminated with landmines, which are mainly concentrated in the war-torn east of the country. Much of the resources are deep in the ground or in concentrations that are too low for profitable extraction. The skyrocketing demand for minerals requires new technologies such as flexible drills, distributed power systems, and artificial intelligence. Also, while there are estimates, the true extent of Ukraine's resource wealth is not known, as there has been no serious assessment of mineral deposits using modern exploration techniques. So why is Donald Trump eyeing Ukraine's minerals? Materials such as graphite, lithium, uranium, and the 17 chemical elements known as rare earths are critical for economic growth and national security. Like we said before, they are essential to the production of electronics, clean energy technology, including wind turbines, energy networks, and electric vehicles, and some weapon systems as well. Currently, the US largely depends on imports for the minerals it needs, many of which come from China, which has long dominated the market. China is responsible for nearly 90% of global processing of rare earth minerals. On top of that, China is also the world's largest producer of graphite and titanium and a major processor of lithium. Experts have long warned that relying on China for strategic materials is risky, but the latest trade tensions between Washington and Beijing make it even more important for the US to look for alternative suppliers. Trump's quest for critical minerals has taken him from Greenland to Ukraine. But he is not alone in wanting more metals, as these will be needed for everything from increased electrification to more and bigger artificial intelligence data centers and sturdier power grids. The European Union signed a memorandum of understanding with Ukraine in 2021, outlining future investment opportunities in mineral mining. Trump is eyeing rare earths on Russian land too.
I'd like to buy minerals on Russian land too, if we can. The rare earth. They have very good rare earth also. They both do, I would say that, and oil and gas. Look, it's a great thing. If we sell this, it's great for Russia too, because we can do deals there. They have very valuable land that isn't utilized. So something like that could take place, yeah.
Putin too is ready to work with American companies to mine rare earth mineral deposits in Russia and parts of Russian-occupied Ukraine. So can a Trump-Zelenskyy minerals deal deter Putin in the Russia-Ukraine war? Indications are that Putin would like to dissuade Trump from insisting on the deployment of European troops to Ukraine and from sending major weapons to Ukraine to deter future aggression. Experts believe Putin would like to seize more Ukrainian territory and also drive away Ukrainian forces from Russian territory before starting serious negotiations for a ceasefire. A Trump-Zelenskyy minerals deal could hinder Putin's plans because the United States may now want to move fast to protect its massive investments in Ukraine, if not by sending US troops to Ukraine to maintain an eventual peace agreement, then by other means. Ukraine for now has moved back from the brink of losing future American support. The question now is, can the Trump-Zelenskyy minerals deal and the cooling off of tensions between US and Russia lead to quick and durable peace 3 years after the start of the Russia-Ukraine war? People are fleeing homes, carrying their belongings, desperate to save their lives. The visuals are from Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti. Armed gangs launched a fresh attack on Haiti's capital. Delmas 30 is one of the worst hit neighborhoods in the city, where several residents were killed. Over 1 million people in Haiti, that is nearly 10% of the population, have been forced to leave their homes due to violent gang wars. These gangs have taken control of much of the capital city and surrounding areas, leaving many without a safe place to live.
I used to live at Delmas 30, but now I don't know whether to go up or down, whether to turn left or right. Why are we in this situation? Wherever they go, we run. We haven't slept since the day before yesterday because everyone was panicking. Around 15 people died in Delmas 30. I have a friend who sells meat at the Delmas 30 market and they burnt him in front of his child. I know a woman who lived very close to me and they took her and her child and burned them.
Haiti is a country located in the Caribbean, sharing the island of Hispaniola with the Dominican Republic. With a population of around 12 million people, Haiti is one of the most populous countries in the Caribbean. Haiti is also one of the poorest countries in the world, ranking among the lowest in terms of income, healthcare, and education. Decades of political instability, natural disasters, and lack of investment have hindered Haiti's economic growth, leaving many Haitians struggling to make ends meet. It was 2016 when the country last had an election. Now the country does not have a president, a functional parliament, and no stable government. And this vacuum became a breeding ground for gangs that take over the streets. Over 5,000 people were killed in gang-related violence in Haiti just last year.
They have been attacking the people. I don't know what their plans are and what the people have done to them. They have been killing people. I wanted to say this. Barbecue said that Vivansam is a political party. People are fleeing and they don't know where to go. When I look at that, I feel bad because you're a former policeman. You can't use other gangs to make people flee. What have we done to you?
You heard the agony of the man, but if you heard him carefully, he mentioned the name Barbecue. Who is this Barbecue? Barbecue is the nickname of Jimmy Cherezia. He is the leader of G9 Family and Allies, one of the largest and most powerful gang alliances in Haiti. Barbecue is a former police officer. His gang controls major parts of Port-au-Prince, especially near the capital's ports and key roadways. In 2022, his gang blockaded fuel terminals, causing a nationwide fuel and food crisis. There are approximately 200 gangs operating across Haiti, with about half of them based in the capital, Port-au-Prince. These gangs fight each other. They control major roads and make money from customs and essential services like water, electricity, and even public transportation. Haiti's gangs have expanded their control since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021. The killing was carried out by Colombian mercenaries. This created a political power vacuum. Haiti was still recovering from the devastating 2010 earthquake that killed up to 300,000 people. Moïse's death, followed by another earthquake just a month later, sent the country into further turmoil. The truth is, Haiti's problems go way back. The country had a tough time with politics for centuries, from the brutal rule of the Duvalier family to years of foreign intervention. Economic struggles have also been a major issue, dating back to when Haiti gained independence in 1804. After a successful slave uprising, Haiti became the world's first free black nation, but France, that had colonized Haiti, demanded huge reparations that hurt Haiti's economy for generations. The situation in Haiti is a nightmare, especially for children. Over 1 million kids are trapped in areas controlled by gangs. They are forced to become soldiers and spies and suffer terrible abuse. The United Nations reports that sexual violence against children has increased 10 times.
A staggering 1,000% increase in sexual violence against children in Haiti has turned their bodies into battlegrounds. So the tenfold rise between 2023 and last year comes as armed groups inflict unimaginable horrors on children. Last year alone, child recruitment surged by 70%. So right now, up to half of all armed group members are children, some as young as 8 years old.
The UNICEF spokesperson cited the case of a 16-year-old girl who was abducted by armed men.
Rosalind is a girl I met, not her real name. Rosalind is 16. Late last year, she left her friend's house to go to the shop and was abducted by armed men. She was placed in a van with a number of other young girls and taken to a warehouse. There, she was extensively beaten. She was drugged and, over what she believes to be the course of a month, relentlessly raped. When the armed group realised that Rosalind didn't have anyone to pay the kidnapping ransom, she was released.
The violence is so bad that basic services have collapsed. Kidnappings and murders of health workers have forced 2/3 of hospitals to close. Even flying in and out of the country has become too dangerous, with gangs shooting at planes. Adding to the crisis, the United States has announced that it will end temporary protection from deportation for 500,000 Haitians living in the US. This means many of them could be sent back to Haiti by August, making an already desperate situation worse. An international security force was deployed to Haiti in June last year to help restore order. Led by Kenya, the Multinational Security Support or MSS mission has been working alongside Haiti's police to stabilize the country. Earlier this month, the MSS received reinforcements with the arrival of 200 additional Kenyan police officers. However, they remain outgunned and outmanned by gangs which continue to arm themselves with powerful weapons illegally smuggled from the US. The future of the MSS was thrown into uncertainty when the Trump administration ordered a freeze on foreign aid programs. This raised concerns about the mission's long-term viability despite contributions from officers from the Bahamas, Belize, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Jamaica. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio later approved a waiver allowing US funds to flow to the MSS and Haiti's national police. But it remains unclear whether Washington supports transitioning the MSS into a UN peacekeeping operation, which would provide more stable funding. Meanwhile, reports suggest that UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is proposing the creation of a UN office to support the MSS. This office would provide drones, fuel, ground and air transportation and other non-lethal resources to strengthen the fight against gangs. As Haiti fights for survival, the question remains: will the world step in before it's too late? That's all in this edition of Connecting the Dots. We'll see you next week with more raging issues. Until then, it's a goodbye from all of us in the Delhi newsroom. This is Munmun Bhattacharya signing off. Take care and stay safe.